Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. We're very excited. We've got Ryan and Jasmine from Doha, Qatar. They're not actually allowed to talk to us, I don't think, because Dubai and Qatar, UAE and Qatar are having a little bit of a family battle.
Are you allowed to even say that?
Probably not. If you don't hear from me this week,
we're not saying.
you know where I am. I'll just put on my disguise. They don't know who I am. But we're Aussies, and Ryan and Jasmine are Kiwis, fish and chips, and they're very exciting. It's very exciting to talk to you guys because we've been trying to do this now
since before Christmas. So
well before, before you bounced back. So Ryan and Jasmine lost heaps of weight, and we wanted to interview them before they got fat again.
With Christmas. So tell us, because you both did the programs, can you tell us how that all started? Did one of you start first, or what was the, decision around starting with your health and fitness?
Yeah, sorry, Jasmine will be back. She's just had to go rescue a child.
We get it.
I get it. Yeah, we don't know where ours are.
So the question was, how did it start? I think actually we were on holiday in the States, and we were kind of, we'd had a good holiday, but we'd eaten rubbish. Spent, I think, was it 2 months on the road or something like that, and we thought, right, we've got to do something to try and, we'd always been reasonably healthy, but we thought, look, we just need to kind of make a bit of a change. So we, I think we're just scrolling across Facebook, wasn't it? And we saw it on there.
It was you found it on Facebook because I was having a bit of pelvic floor
challenges. You haven't been there, but I've been there.
Yeah, we've all been there, haven't we?
And Ryan sent me the smashed egg, on Facebook, the ad.
Okay.
And he was like, "Oh, check out this." I was like, "Oh, so okay." And you were like, we signed up. I signed up, and he was like, we're watching the videos, and I was like, oh my gosh, no drinking for 8 weeks, and this, and Ryan was like, I'll do it with you. Come on, let's do it together. And
you're so supportive.
Yeah, and it just flew from there, really. And
we weren't kind of in to begin with as a weight loss thing or anything. It was more just a something to, get a bit more healthy and get rid of our road trip summer overeating and drinking and for me obviously the pelvic floor weakness thing.
The smashed egg.
Yeah.
An omelette.
As we sort of got into it from there and sort of found out a bit more and did a bit more reading, I think the thing is that the videos and the intro and the the explanations and things were just awesome, and we're like, oh yeah, this is really doable, this is really achievable, and then we just really got into it. So rest is history, really.
Yeah.
That's so good.
How long ago was it when you went on holiday?
It was over our summer, so it was June. So what did we start when we got back in August?
Yeah, start of August.
Yeah, start of August, really. Yeah.
And so many people say, they start to feel a bit better, or they might have a few weight loss goals, and then they really realize that it evolves so much more for them with family life and everything. So how did that happen for you guys? Did you just feel so much better? Like, what was the transformation like sort of doing the 8 weeks?
It was absolutely that. I think just the huge better, like, feeling of just actually that feeling a lot better. A lot more kind of well-being generally, and
the fam,
cutest family ever.
Yeah, and just feeling a lot healthier, and just renewed energy, and just feeling on top of things. Really, it was really noticeable.
I obviously after Levi was 8 or 9 months old then. And I had been going to the gym 3 days a week and doing this and doing that, since he was 3 months old or whatever. And, I'd lost a majority of that weight that I put on over pregnancy, but there was still about sort of 5 kgs that I was like, that would be good to get rid of. But it wasn't really moving, going to the gym. and doing this was definitely like within 2 weeks I had shed 3 kgs, and it's not that I started. I mean, I've always been like a reasonably active and fit person, but it was amazing that also too that instant weight loss for me, and have continued to do so. But also too, like, instead of going to the gym for 45 minutes 3 days a week, which is always a bit of a chore, time consuming. Now I can't wait to like leap out of bed at 5 o'clock in the morning and do my 15 minutes and then done. That's me for the day.
It's so good. Hey, it's like, why do people do any more than that? You just don't need to.
Yeah. And the bit I think for us, especially with 3 kids, I mean, as you guys will know, just being able to have it and do it and work it in with your family. And I think I posted something up as part of it, is that the great thing was, the kids are seeing us being active, the kids are seeing us do stuff, and even though they're playing, they're getting out and doing their wee workout kind of things, but as in play. But it's it's a really good kind of, I suppose, role model type thing for them, and they see it.
Yeah, absolutely. And Julius just showed some photos of you guys out and about as a family doing physical activity, and their memories, your children will never forget those sort of memories, like them seeing you exercise in the lounge room and not finding excuses. They're going to take that into adulthood, and it'll be a habit for them, and it'll be so normal that they will realize when they have kids one day, wow, mum and dad just really just made it happen. It didn't matter what was going on in their life. They always were physically active with us, making sure we were nourished. Like, they really will take it on. And I think it's something sometimes you can't learn that at school, with education, just having that home life of health and it being normal, so that they never, ever have to yo-yo diet and all that sort of stuff that you go through as adults.
Yeah, completely. And I think that's that bit you said about yo-yo dieting. It's for us now, I guess we don't eat. We talked about we were on the nourish, and then we don't really eat too much differently now. It's become that's just how things are. Lots of and I guess the awareness for us about what's going into our bodies and how how we're sort of eating has been really a sort of ticker from there.
I think also too, like in terms of the kids, like they still have the odd, bowl of pasta and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But when you like, we might now have we do have a lot more like zoodles, zucchini noodles, stuff, and when you like you when you've got a plate in front of you, this is for our 4-year-old who's a little bit more picky than our 7-year-old, and it's all vegetables with a bit of meat, rather than there's a thing of pasta there and then a few vegetables and a bit of meat. Kind of can't just eat the pasta and then just a little bit of vegetables. It's very much like that aspect has changed in terms of the meals, that it's not just veggies as a side. Veggies are the main thing, and it's kind of
that's amazing. And it's not about, and it's also not about depriving your kids. I think a lot of people think if they've got to be healthy, they've got to make their kids miss out, and that might cause a problem later. But what it is, it's still allowing them, if you go to a birthday party or something, to have those things. But if they're used to majority of the time being healthy, as they grow, they'll know what feels good for them, and they'll gravitate back to the normal for them. Mm-hmm. So you guys are creating a normal with these loads of veggies with a little bit of pasta, so that their little bodies, as they become adults, they will gravitate back to that. Like for our son, Josh, who's 22, he gravitates back to healthy because it's normal. Even though he's a 22-year-old living in America, he still eats some junk food and, has fun with his mates, but he always gravitates back to health because he knows it makes him feel good. You guys are just so inspiring. You really are.
I got a question on that one. So you were feeding them the regular, like usual Kiwi feed of spag bowl on a Friday night. That's the thing every day. Yeah. And how long did it take you to change your kids to being vegetable primarily?
Well, we're very much, and have been, all about just they eat the same as us. And so if we, and right from, Levi now is, well, he's a bit more picky, but, he's only just turned 1. So he's still doing his own dinners type of thing. But very soon he'll be having dinner with all of us, eating the same things. And I think so really what we eat is what very much they're going to eat as well. And it's not their dinners and our dinners.
So, and I mean, as far as like, it just kind of happened, didn't it? There was a few turned up noses to start with, but then we worked through that, and then we were all go.
India, every morning, India gets up and she goes, "What are we having for dinner tonight, Mum?" Like, I have
every morning.
Yeah.
Probably gonna have
started already.
yeah. But now there's
But it's yeah. I mean, they still every now and then when they have their pizzas and their pastas and stuff, they think it's great. But it's very much balanced with a lot more other things. So.
That's cool, because a lot of people, they find they're almost surprised that their kids like vegetables when they give them veggies. They're like, oh, they're eating a capsicum. That's really weird,
And for anyone that's listening, if kids are not wanting to eat vegetables, a tip that we've given many times that will generally work is we won't do a bowl for everyone. Julius and I'll do a giant bowl up just for the 2 of us. And the kids will gravitate and they'll want to eat what's in your bowl. So that will tend to work. If your kids are a bit stubborn and they're like, they're not eating vegetables, make a giant stir fry up and add some nice flavors to it with fresh herbs. And the kids will want a snack. They'll be interested in having what you're having. So if you're in that situation at the moment where it is a challenge with your kids, persevere with them. As Ryan and Jasmine just said, they will come around. You just got to keep putting it in front of them. Be patient. Would you guys agree?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And also too, when there's not that pasta or whatever on offer, they quickly realise that they're going to go hungry, kind of, if they don't eat.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Yeah.
Making it fun, and making it different. It's good for us because a lot of the things we read is like, vegetables every night. But the great thing is it's forced, because it sort of makes you get creative in a way too, and you're doing different things. And then,
I must say, and to begin with, I was finding that, trying to make lots of different meals and all of that kind of stuff. And I found I was just in the kitchen so long and it was just driving me a bit crazy. And I remember actually in one of your videos, Shani, saying about, keeping it simple. And I just decided, right, I'm not going to get, all fancy on all these different types of meals. And so, stir fry essentially is a lot of what we eat. But then it's like trying out making up new sauces and, a bit of tahini here and, cooking your meat in a different way and all of that kind of stuff. So it's definitely, I could just... You find your groove, but I definitely think for us anyway, it was simplifying it, because already you kind of I don't want to spend any more time in the kitchen than I have to, and things like pre-cutting up all your vegetables and having those all in containers. Again, I got that off one of your tips, and it just made such a huge difference to not having to cut your veggies up and do it every time you wanted to cook a meal.
Yeah, I think people, when they first especially start dieting or getting healthy, they try and overcomplicate it and it becomes overwhelming. So you did the right thing by just going, I'm just going back to basics here. And even if you've got to eat the same meal, you can, add to that as you get more confident and you get into it more, into the lifestyle more. So you did the right thing. I'm glad you just didn't quit, because it's so cool to move past that and evolve and then realize I can just add to my...
Can I interrupt? These guys look scared. You guys are looking at your kids like something's going down.
Watching what our 1-year-old's doing. He's wielding this banana around us.
You're going to get slapped with a banana.
Yeah.
He's having a muck over there with his banana.
Yes, he's having a great time. Sorry. Keep going, Mom and Dad. I've got this.
Everyone will be laughing so hard right now at what kids do. It's funny.
Hey, I do have another question for you. You came back from a holiday to the States. And right now, there's a lot of people still trying to get the motivation to start after the new year, even though it's the 11th today. I think it's the 11th. The 11th or 12th. Around there.
12th, yeah.
How are you guys, long did it take you guys to start? Like actually start?
Straight away.
Yeah, we did.
And you didn't fall back?
We signed up, and
No.
the next day did it, because it was very much like, let's just get this thing going.
We didn't want to be gunners.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, good on you guys.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so
But I
cool.
think that's a bit of our thing too. Like it was, I think the most important thing to say with starting, actually it's funny because I've had a few mates here who have started, they said, they found out about what we were doing, and they had taken an interest and they've signed up as well, which has been awesome. But I think one thing I said to them is, start, but make sure, like you said, you're fully stocked, you've got your veggies, you've got your, you're all set to go before you start, and then just get into it really, because that was the thing, isn't it? And it's, unless you're sort of, when you start looking around, initially I think when you start looking around for food and you're looking and thinking, what's my meal going to be, and then that's when you kind of might have a tendency to sort of to fall back to habit.
Within the first week, we went to the supermarket and we were so hangry, and the wheels just started falling off me.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I've got to get out of here. And I'm so hungry. And Ryan kept on going, it's okay. It's okay to feel hungry.
Yeah.
Like, I want to feel hungry. And then just trying to do the groceries when you're feeling like that, it took a lot of persistence.
Gotcha.
To just ditch our trolley and run.
Yeah, exactly. That was a good point. Never go to the supermarket hungry. Yeah.
You guys
don't.
You guys have given some amazing tips, like keep it simple, pre-chop your veggies and put them in the fridge in sealed containers is a good one.
Yeah.
Don't go to the supermarket hangry because that's just crazy.
Yeah.
And have your fridge stocked ready when you start. Like, these are great tips. Like, they really are. What else have you guys got? Because people will be hanging going, please, what tips? Help us.
We started actually just initially we were like, our grocery bill will probably go down because we're just buying veggies. Well, that was completely wrong, because we found in the first couple of months our supermarket bill just was kind of going crazy, and obviously fresh fruit and veg are quite expensive.
This is different to being in Doha here. In Doha.
Yeah,
in the Middle East.
Yeah, but anyway, we started like literally keeping all of our receipts and stuff, and we've got a supermarket like a stone's throw away from our compound, and I started looking at it. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to the supermarket like maybe twice a day sometimes, and or like here is difficult because you can't get everything from one supermarket. You often find that you've got to make a few trips. But once we became a bit more conscious about how much we were spending, it was like, right, only going to the supermarket every 3 days, and it was amazing how that dropped our supermarket bill by 2,000 real a month. So. I don't know what that works out to be.
$400, something like that, isn't it?
No, a lot more.
Oh, more than that. No, way more than that. Yeah.
Oh, anyway, whatever it was, it was quite a considerable drop, because instead of just going, we're getting a little bit low on this, I'll just go there and I'll get this whilst I'm here and everything. It was very much like, no, I'm not going to go for 3 days. Make sure I stocked up for enough for to the 3 days, and it was amazing. And now, like, our grocery bill is back to normal.
But we're not eating any differently. We're still managing. Yeah.
Yeah. So we still.
That's amazing.
So what do you think the difference was? What were you spending more money on?
I think I was. I say but I generally do the grocery shopping. I think it was just because it was so easy to just completely keep going down there and I'll just buy another one of those, and we're running a bit low on these. Whereas instead of going, I always have to have zucchini in the fridge. If I run out, well, that's fine, because I'll start I'll make a dinner with something else, you know, as the
Yeah.
main ingredient. So
Yeah.
we never, put it this way, vegetables would never go to waste in our fridge beforehand, but it just, I think it was just that you weren't constantly shopping every day, or like you just cooked.
Maybe it's looking at like volume. You know, we did big shops. Get yourself well stocked. Use everything up there. I mean, it sounds kind of simple, doesn't it? But just and that just seemed to be. We were quite surprised though that the fact that it was like, actually this is a lot more economical too. But we're still eating as well as we were before. But yeah, just being mindful in that way of having a fully stocked fridge, using it all, and then, you know, going and doing your big shops rather than your sort of intermediary little shops, I suppose.
Great idea. So you say you changed it to once a week, you'd end up getting enough to last you a week, or you're going twice a week now?
Every 3 days is when I sort of was pretty much, I mean...
well, it's stuff usually lasts a week with a top-up 3 days. And then that's it.
Yeah.
It's hard with a big family you need a few fridges, especially in the Middle East.
Yeah.
That's the biggest problem.
Lucky
They're restricted by size.
Yeah, where we live, we're lucky though, because they do give you really big fridges.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's
really
exciting.
good.
Fridges,
Yeah.
And for some people as well, it'll depend on where you are in the world, but you can get those co-ops. Get involved with a co-op where they do big vegetable shops. It's not in a supermarket. You'll save.
Get one in Qatar.
Yeah, I don't think you'll get. I don't even know if there's one in Dubai either, but I know there's definitely lots in Australia, lots in America, and lots of places of the world. You do a co-op. So Google co-op wherever you are, and what it is
group.
Like families get together and they do a giant shop at the big wholesalers and they divvy it out, and it works out to be saving so much money. Like, it's crazy. So if we could do a co-op, we would.
For say, for example, here, like, we get a lot of our veggies and stuff, you know, air freighted in. So it was for us, the supermarkets, not us personally, and they, you know, when you start finding locally grown produce is so much cheaper too than the, you know, the whatevers that come from Holland and all of that.
Yeah.
You know, locally.
Oh, I was talking about the eggplant.
Qatar is, you know, really now going through, since the blockade, they're really trying to do the whole self-sustainable, you know, own veggies and stuff. And,
industry.
And that's really, you know, when we're looking on the shelves, it's amazing to see like local prices versus the, you know,
imported stuff.
Yeah, but I think you could transfer that to anywhere where you are and just be smart about what you buy, because, you know, everywhere you've got the things that are, you know, more accessible than other things, and you know, sort of work out what fits for you and your context and where you are, because we know certain things here are, you know, we wouldn't buy just because they're just off the scale price wise, but there's abundance.
Yeah.
There's lots out there, so it's about just having your eyes open, really, you know.
That's a really good idea, Ryan.
And living in the Middle East, is there any kind of fruit or vegetable that you miss from New Zealand?
Broccoli.
Well,
really?
Yeah, well, it's more expensive though. We don't really buy it that much.
Way more expensive.
Yeah.
Tell you what, I've actually I've gone off fruit a bit just simply doing this, because I actually feel like now it's a really sweet thing. You know, once you, so my whole thing, I don't massively miss eating fruit, but the odd feijoa from New Zealand would but of course being from No,
not so much really.
We have an amazing selection of stuff, just like in Dubai. You know, you get lots of. It's very international, so.
Yeah.
So anyone watching, because so many people will be watching from all over the world, put in the comments if you've got a certain co-op you go to, or a great farmers markets, or where you buy locally, so that you can buy seasonal veggies and keep it affordable as a family, or, you know, in your house. Please comment below, I'm in Italy and this is what I do, or I'm in Australia and this is what I do, or Perth, you know, like you can name even your town. Might be helpful for everybody that's kind of scrolling through and going, oh my God, I live in Darwin and this is where I go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing that'll help people is with you guys living where you do at 50 degrees Celsius in summer. Some people here are like, oh, it's too cold outside or it's too hot outside. I can't go outside to do exercise. How did you guys get all of your exercise done when it's that hot?
Would they let?
Just
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah, and Jazz, I think you're down here, just behind us here. This is Jasmine's workout area. You know, in the morning she rocks down, puts her mat out. Yeah, and she only needs like a couple of meters squared, and she's, you know, just sort of. I think it's being smart with what you've got around you. I kind of do a bit of stuff. Jasmine hates it, but I've got a pull-up bar, you know, in the kitchen there as we walk into the kitchen. Yeah. And it's above
the whole family
above the door. But it's awesome. Kids can get up there and kids do a few pull-ups and, you know.
Oh, that's good.
We'll have to send you a photo. It's classic.
Yeah.
So while Jasmine's cooking, you're doing chin-ups.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Look
right.
at me, babe. Dessert.
Actually, do your kids jump on you and are they around while you're exercising, your kids?
Don't jump on me. They sometimes like get involved and like I think
I've got good at burpees.
Yeah, they're really
It's
good. It's
amazing how good kids can get at burpees.
Yeah.
I think
they make it look so easy.
Actual, you know, the real concept of getting down and jumping up, and like our girls get we get, you know, the water in the big 50-gallon, 5-gallon, whatever it is. You
50.
Know, big,
call it 50. Sounds cooler.
And that's what Jasmine lifts in the morning.
Yeah.
They get the empty ones, and they start using those as their weights and the
so cute.
bars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it just makes it fun. You know, they see it, and that's the biggest thing is they see it as fun, and not as like, what a mission, I've got to go and exercise or something like that. You know, we're down there, we get the stereo cranked up and the music playing, and you know, Friday mornings in here, which is our equivalent of our Saturday, is great because I'll be doing something inside. You know, if it's too hot outside, or Jasmine will be doing something, and the kids are ripping around, and they're either jumping around or just. You know, you don't necessarily need masses of outdoor space to be active. That's the thing I'd say. You know, you can do it anywhere. It's just a matter of.
But you do go outside in the furnace and.
Sometimes I do, yeah.
Yeah.
And
thank you for actually sharing that. That's really important that people realize you don't need loads of equipment. You don't need a gym. You can just do it without having that stuff in your lounge room with your kids around. So you guys really are an inspiration when it comes to you just doing it with the kids. You know, you're really making it happen. No equipment, 15 minutes, you're getting your veggies eaten. So it's really inspiring for other people to see that it's doable.
On that note, I was talking to another school teacher here from Dubai because you guys school teachers. Are you both school teachers?
Just myself. Jasmine's
graphic designer.
Oh, very cool. And that's probably why you got such nice lights in the background. You're very artistic.
That's exactly. We've been completely organised here.
Okay. One of the teachers here, I don't know if it's the same for you guys there, but when she was saying that only just recently they've allowed the kids outside. So they're not even allowed outside during school hours because it's just too hot and too dangerous. Is that the same for you guys?
Yeah.
So how do you deal with that as a fit person, seeing all of these kids go stir crazy for months without being allowed outside?
Yeah, and it's definitely, you know, I guess that's a bit of a, I guess you could say, drawback of some, you know, where you're living and things like that. That there is portions of the year where just as it's too hot, you know, then the kids aren't allowed outside. And I mean, it is a challenge, but I think too, you got to kind of be creative around the way that you think about things. And you can either see it as, you know, a downer, or you just think, oh, well, what else can we do?
Yeah, good on you.
So what do you do? What do you do as a school teacher to keep 30 kids from going mad when normally every other school teacher is like, "Jeez, thank goodness it's break time, off you go, run."
Yeah. It's well, it's down to like I think as you were about to say, a lot of the places are set up for you know built for that. But then some that aren't, and I think you just have to. You know, I've seen because I'm in a different job now where I've moved out of the classroom, still within schools though. But it's great, you know, if we walk around the school and you see what teachers are doing, they're getting kids going in their classrooms, you know, doing things like short and sharp things at the start of the day, being creative, you know, step ups on chairs in the class or whatever. But you know, I think it's definitely something that I look within schools here is, and I don't, they're aware, people are aware of it here, and I guess the government, and there's the big pushes on health here coming, and so that's sort of right at the forefront about keeping the population active and healthy and moving and stuff. So
yeah, we've been so proud of the Middle East. They really are into health and fitness so much. Like they really
very conscious.
Yeah, it's really good to see that. It's amazing. Well, thank you guys. I'd love to know any final advice you have before we let you get back to your family and pick up all the bananas.
Yeah. Don't worry, he's onto remote controls now.
Raisin.
Oh, there we go.
Any other tips and things? I mean,
For me, it's very much I've just got to get up and do my workout, and before the kids get up, and on a weekday, and then it's done. I'm done for the day. I can't come home and do anything workout wise, and that's what I think I love this now is it's totally shown me that I can still do a workout, and Ryan can be outside or go into the park and do his circuits and stuff, and I can be here doing my workout. The kids can be up getting ready for school, all of that kind of stuff, because it's pretty early mornings here. But yeah, definitely that's my thing that I like, is that I've just got to get up, do it in the morning, and then that's when I've got the energy and all of that kind of stuff.
I guess the thing is with that, maybe looking big around it, is like stick with it and you create habits. That's the thing with it, is that you kind of push through. And I guess for those people starting out and they're thinking, oh, how's this actually work? And just stick at it, make it work for you. And that's where your habits get built. And, now, look at us and it would be like, well, it's not really any different. We don't feel like we're doing something other. It's just part of our lifestyle. And that's how we choose to live. And so which is great.
The other thing that I would also say too is if, like doing it together has been really good, because you're cooking the same meals. When one of you is hungry or feeling like something, the other one's like, nah, you don't need that. Come on, push through it.
Oh, that's so
good. Amazing.
Jasmine used to say it to me all the time.
You guys are so inspiring. Thank you for taking the time out, because we know how crazy it can be with life and kids, and you're both here just to help others see that there's health and happiness out there, and it's easy to do as a family. So thank you so much.
Such a beautiful family too, that you can see the love in your photos and with the kids in the background. It's really nice to see a real homegrown Kiwi family. To hear your accents is really good. It's really
you miss home.
I miss it. All the way out in the Middle East.
The Kiwi twang.
Yeah.
So thank you, and please keep inspiring, and thank you for everything you've done in our communities. You really are just a special family, and we hope we get to meet you like real life and get to touch you one day and be like, hi.